Raider Nation, what's going on? You're watching the Raiders Report, and today's Raiders Mailbag is presented by Manscaped. I know that I tell you guys all the time to make sure that your man bag is looking great. Also, you got to see this balls on my chin? Yeah, the beard trimmer also hooked it up here. So, if you want to save 20% off on the best male grooming products out there, it's manscaped.com. Promo code Raiders. It's going to be in the comments and in the description of today's video. So, a lot of the questions, and all the questions that you see on today's show are from our live watch show, I can't even think what I'm trying to say, that aired on Tuesday. They're coming in super chats and then a lot of different questions flowing in. First one is from R4Life 1970. Mitch, if a team is willing to trade for him and take his contract and give up draft capital, why wouldn't they pay him without sending any draft picks? So you're talking about Derek Carr here. If a team is willing to trade for him and take his contract, give up draft capital, why wouldn't they pay him without sending any draft picks? I mean, if a team's willing to trade for Derek Carr, they're just going to do it. If the team believes that Derek can play at a top 12 level and they're a quarterback away, I do think a deal gets done. The fact that the Saints just traded away Sean Payton, that's a team to watch out for. And then the other team I think that could also make the move, sneaky, would be Carolina and maybe even somebody like the New York Jets. Let's go to Jeff. What up, Jeff? Dennis Allen drafted Carr. Saints have extra picks now. I hope the Saints trade for Carr. Number 29 overall pick for DC. Sign me up. Let's go to the journey of zero. Carr and Jacobs end up on the same team next season. I hope not. I don't see. If you're the Raiders, you got to figure out a way to bring back Josh Jacobs. Like, you got to figure out every way possible to bring him back. Now, I say every way possible. The smart way to do it is by franchise tagging him. I'm not going to break the bank. Franchise tag him. Let's move on. Let's go to Battle Raider 909. Is Chandler Jones retiring? I've seen people saying he is. So I think this is just one of those internet rumors, if I'm being honest with you. I saw people tweeting out like, all right, Chandler Jones is posting on his Instagram story that he's looking for a realtor in Las Vegas. I reached out to some of my realtor friends in Vegas. Sounds like he's just looking for a realtor. I didn't get too much details on it, but this is one of those things where did Chandler Jones end the season on IR? Is he battling an injury? Is he getting up there in age? Yes. But in terms of is he retiring, I don't actually know. If he does retire, obviously we're going to go live. We're going to get you a video on it. So if you want, hit the subscribe button. If you're like, Mitch, I'm telling you, Chandler Jones is going to retire. If he does, hey, we'll be ready for it. Also, though, turn on those noties and try to be a part of the Noti Gang. What is the Noti Gang? The people that join our comment section the first. They got the noties on. As soon as I release a video, they comment. So shout out to Jerry, Rob, Richard, Jack, and Clash with Zeus for being a part of the Noti Gang. Let's go to Papaya Man. Mitch the GOAT. If Stroud is on the board at 7, do you take him? Appreciate all that you do for Raider Nation. If he's on the board at 7 and you don't have another quarterback option, like you don't get Brady, you're not going to get Jimmy Garoppolo, and you're just like, we need a quarterback in the draft, the answer to that question then is maybe. It depends who the offensive linemen are on the board. I like Stroud. I think he's a good overall prospect. But to me, Stroud is not ready to start right away. Like, you better stack up on a lot of other things around him to make sure he's ready. It wouldn't surprise me, though, if they did go that route, because I do know Zeeler likes Stroud. But are you willing to bet your future on a rookie quarterback? That still remains to be seen. What up, Rashard? Would you want Rodgers or Brady? The report is presented by Manscaped. And you know what, man? We got some breaking news here. The beard kit. They got a brand new one from the Manscaped, and I'm going to tell you all about them. If you go and use code Raiders at manscaped.com, you're actually going to be able to get 20% off and free shipping. Are you tired of using multiple products to maintain your beard? Look no further than the luxury Beard Hedger Pro Kit from Manscaped. This complete beard maintenance kit has everything you need for a modern man on the go. From trimming to treatment, this kit has it all. The kit includes the Beard Hedger, AC adapter, and USB-C cable, beard shampoo, beard conditioner, beard oil, beard balm, and a travel bag. Plus, a special bonus. You will receive a free beard accessory pack with a beard brush, beard comb, and beard scissors. The Beard Hedger was designed with a unique cutting angle to have its built-in comb lift flat-lying hairs for smooth, single-stroke trimming. And for a limited time, you can get 20% off and free shipping at manscaped.com with promo code Raiders. Don't wait, get your Beard Hedger Pro Kit today and take your beard game to the next level. I will say this, usually I feel like my beard game is on point. But because I had to shave Bengal tiger stripes in my face for AFC Championship game, which now I just look like a complete idiot, now I got a porn stash. I promise you, we're going to be bringing back the beard real soon, thanks to the Beard Kit. Shout out to Manscaped for sponsoring today's show. Big super coming in here from Steve Wynn. Carr gets cut. Is he first Pro Bowl player not on a team? I don't know. I don't have the answer to that question. It's a good question. I mean, if Tyler Huntley's a Pro Bowl quarterback, though, then anything's possible. Like, Derek's basically like the 7th QB that they probably called to be the quarterback of the Pro Bowl. It's wild. I wish I had an answer on this. Our good friend Google, though, is probably going to be the only way that I know. Let's go to Splash Mob rolling in here, which I think we already answered this one earlier, but it's all good. Carr and Renfro in a third for a first and trade. Yeah, I mean, again, I get that people want Bryce. I get that the Raiders want to trade up. If I'm Chicago, I would want a little bit more personally. But, hey, that's just me. I think a lot of times NFL teams, they really love their draft picks a lot more than what I personally think that they're worth. And because of that, though, they're going to overvalue them. Let's go to Cycle of War. Should the Raiders re-sign Jermaine Eluemunor? It's a good question. I think that they should. It depends what you get him for. If you look at his Spotrac value, he's at like $5.6 million, and I actually had a video that went out last week on players to re-sign. Eluemunor was good this year, 940 snaps, an overall grade of 75.3. His ability to play guard and tackle, he's got a good relationship with Carmen Brasillo. I do think that it makes a lot of sense. I'll also say that if Eluemunor has an opportunity to make more money and go get the bag, go get the bag. If you can get him back, though, at $5 million a year, he's worth it to me because he was good enough to be on a lot of teams this year, especially considering the fact of how much of a shit show the Raiders' right guard position was. So you be Dave Ziegler right now. Should the Raiders re-sign offensive lineman Jermaine Eluemunor? I want you to type S for sign, P for pass. I'll be looking down in the comments. Let's go to Juan. What up, bro? If Lamar Jackson wasn't injured, he would have been in the Pro Bowl. Tyler Huntley is a straight-up joke. I mean, that's the reason why Tyler Huntley's in, because Lamar Jackson is hurt. But again, like, it's no disrespect to Tyler Huntley, but calling him a Pro Bowler, it's a joke. It's a joke. And people, again, are going to be like, 10 years down the road, Derek Carr was a 4-time Pro Bowler. He was a Pro Bowler behind Tyler Huntley and arguably his worst season as a pro. Let's go to Boogeyman. What do you think the Raiders should get in the draft this year? Who do you think? I mean, my favorite prospect is Jalen Carter. That's probably not going to happen, though, if I'm being 100% honest with you. In terms of the most likely, I'll still say that I think Peter Skoronski from Northwestern is the most likely guy. Other Super Chats that I see one in there from Brandon Jasper, and I also see one from Rich X Wolf, if you could pull those up for me there, Seeps. We got 1,000 people tuning in live, and if you missed this show while we're live, hey, always remember, hit that subscribe button where we pump out a lot of content. Let's go to Brandon Jasper. I'm lazy today, so it's just locals. Remember, if you want personal interaction, extra live videos, depending on when you watch the show, I'm going to be doing a live locals mock draft on Wednesday, so tune in. Join in for that. We're going to have a lot of fun. All right, what about Cameron Sproul? Super chat, we're rolling in here. Bring in someone like Mitch Trubisky, re-sign Stiddy, roll with them until next year when you can draft Drake May, and meanwhile, defense. I mean, I don't know why you'd want Mitch Trubisky. If your plan is to get Drake May and your plan is to get Caleb Williams, you don't bring in a good quarterback. Like, I'm not saying Mitch is a good QB, but I'm not going to spend the money on a dude like Mitch Trubisky where you still probably have to pay him $8-9 million a year. I'm not going to do that. I'd rather you just bring back Stidham, say, hey, Stidham, you'll be the starter for $5 million, roll him out there, you win 5 or 4 games, try to sell your fans on it's going to be successful. I'll tell you right now, I don't think it'll be successful. But if you could put me in a time machine and we end up in 2024 and we got Drake May or Caleb Williams, I'd say all the bullshit was worth it. If you guys want to interact with me like Brandon was just talking about there, it is over on Locals. Also for Raiders news, personal stuff like the other day I was asking, and if anybody has any recommendations, Chuck, my dog, he's got a weak stomach. Been looking for some new dog food for him. He's got the shits a little bit too often. So if anybody has any recommendations, please don't be afraid to DM me. Let's go to Rich X Wolf. If I was at Santa Clara, I'm not going to lie, I thought this said if I was Santa Claus. My eyes are tripping right now. Wearing Eagles gear, repping them alone, and I laughed so hard when all the whiners lost and were so mad while I was chanting Eagles. I'll tell you what, I'm usually not the guy that chants other teams. I was feeling good, man. It felt good to see that the Eagles come away with a win over the 49ers. It would have been even better if the Bengals would have won. But, hey, it is what it is. At least for now we can root for one team at the Super Bowl during our watch party. Let's go to Raider Rob, 1969. Should we get Hargraves or Mike McGlinchey? This is a hell of a question. Is both an option? Because if you were to ask me, Mitch, who's your top defensive free agent target? I would say Javon Hargraves. If you were to ask me, Mitch, who's your top offensive target, free agent, I'd probably say Mike McGlinchey. If I got to pick, I'm going to go Javon Hargrave because I just believe the Raiders' defensive tackle room is so weak right now that you got to upgrade. Like, it's Javon Hargrave, Deron Payne, and there's a huge tier break for defensive tackles to me, and then Dalvin Tomlinson would be the next name I would look at. Since we are talking about the Super Bowl, it is right around the corner, and Jeremy and I, yes, we will be live for this, doing a watch party. Hopefully you all tune in. We had over 100,000 people tune in last conference championship weekend. Let me know who you got. KC for the Chiefs. I think we're all going for the Eagles. So let's go to one of the GOATs. What up, Zornell? McClown should have traded DC last offseason and restarted the rebuild on teams not in the second year. I hear you out. I hear what you're saying. But I do think that the deal that they put together for Carr was a good deal. And I will still say that I thought it was one of the better contracts put together. For you to get a quarterback, and you thought that DC could play at a top 12 level, they got him essentially on a one-year prove-it deal for about $24.9 million was the guaranteed money he got. His salary cap was at around $19.1. That's a good deal. Like, that's them doing the right thing. You then also were able to trade for Devontae Adams, brought him in. The Raiders did the right moves. The issue was they didn't execute well, and I heard execute enough. So I do think usually in a rebuild you want to do it in year one, but their plan wasn't to rebuild, and a lot of teams don't try to rebuild after you make the playoffs. I think the only reason why you're even hearing the word rebuild is because, let's face it, the Raiders failed. They went 6-11, and they were trying to be like, we were just trying to rebuild. What's up, Guillermo? Wholehearted from Petco. Okay, with chop steak and kibble. Chop steak and kibble. Have to look into it. I know I had a few people reach out to me. Like right now we have Hill Science, and it's a good food brand, no doubt about it. I had somebody hit me up with a few different kinds of food products, fresh foods, all this. Chuck's just a picky eater. I think that's the real problem here. What up, Drew? Thoughts on Ed Oliver? And what about the money from Ruggs? I like Ed Oliver. And the money from Ruggs, unfortunately, that is still yet to be solved. So because of Ruggs' situation keeps getting pushed back, the court date for Henry Ruggs right now is March 22nd. So until March 22nd happens, we don't necessarily know. But once whatever happens ends up happening, I imagine he's going to get in trouble. At least he should. Then the Raiders would get the money back because that would be conduct detrimental to the team, and then the Raiders would get some money back. I'm still waiting on the Damon Arnett money. Last time I checked, man, I think the Raiders are owed another $8.5 million in salary cap space from those two dudes. Let's go to Vincenzo. How about Jamal Dean to the Raiders? Best cornerback in the free agent market. He's an incredible player. My thing is, though, I don't know if the Raiders are going to have all that money. Like, I'd rather them spend big. If you were like Mitch, would you rather the Raiders spend big on a defensive tackle, a linebacker, an edge rusher, a corner, or a safety with this free agent class? I'll say defensive tackle because the edge rushers are weak. Corners are good, but there's some good cornerback depth. There's also good cornerback depth in the NFL draft as well. Those are all the mailbag questions. Appreciate everyone tuning in. If you haven't already, hit that subscribe button and turn on those notifications.